Yeah, but hip hop is ghetto music. It is, and of course most hip hop artists were not from the ghetto. Just like your rock and roll bands that you like are prefabricated, manufactured. They don't even write their own songs. Somebody dresses them. Somebody tells them what to say. That's what made the authenticity of the Sex Pistols so great. Is because they came with a formula all of their own. Malcolm wanted to do child exploitation. He wanted to do the Bay City Rollers, and he borrowed from these kids and helped dress them up. And you got a formula that you've never seen before, the Sex Pistols, and that's what they called punk rock, basic rock music. you know, um, Sid Vicious was from the ghetto. I think Johnny had a decent upbringing. He could go to a he had a, most of them did. They were, but rock and roll. Rock and roll sometimes comes from the ghetto. Look at me, and I'm genuinely from the surrounding the Tri-City area's ghettos. Have been my whole life. And what's this dude calling me muddy? And this is mud, and that's mud, and fucking with my Christmas present, sending me messages about mud. I don't know what the fuck that means. Don't send me stupid shit, and stop stocking that store with stupid shit. I'm me, and I come correctly. I'll tell you who I am if you don't know. I'm the real motherfucker. I'm not. I, some rich Jewish guys didn't invent me over a telephone. You know, I'm just real. That's me. Because my heroes were all real. They were do-it-yourself guys. Um, Chuck D is not ghetto. I guess where'd he come from? Yonkers or no Long Island or something? Doesn't matter. The type of music he chose was definitely gritty ghetto music. But no, he's not from the ghetto, and it's not. But it is ghetto music. But I mean, it was the preferred music of the ghetto, and it still is. It's urban music. That's why they called it urban. But they were politically motivated. Of course, they weren't from. Look at it. Look at Rakim. You know, in the ghetto, nobody's smiling. It ain't where you're from. It's where you're at. Even the ghetto. You know, his mother was an English teacher. He started out pushing a hot dog cart. You know, if you want to be a writer or a lyricist, I suggest you look at Rakim. No, he's not from the ghetto, but I don't think that fucking matters. You know, they were too educated. But he comes from a certain place in black, uh, in African culture, which definitely resented what was going on in society with black people. You know, and they had a do it yourself ethic because they were allowed to pretty much say quite a bit, say what they wanted to say without censor. But like I said, it also cost them a spot. I mean, you couldn't even play them on Yo MTV Raps, could you? Really? But somehow they were a mainstream act that didn't get much radio play, didn't get much coverage on television. That's a successful group. No compromise. Just like that's how they're related to punk rock. No fucking compromise. It's about as real as it gets. You wouldn't be interested in what they have to say about if they came from the ghetto. What have you got to say? You know. But they appealed to intellectuals, the dregs of all the way down to the dregs of society. But I most certainly come from the ghetto, but that doesn't fucking matter. So did Elvis. You know what I mean? So did fucking Elvis. Every now and again, one of us comes along. Yeah, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Even the ghetto. You know? That's what it comes down to. And this piece of shit won't shut the fuck up with his videos. What year are you at, in asshole? Stop lying. Stop with that irrelevant bullshit. And stop kidding yourself and stop fantasizing on my time. You piece of shit. We're having an educated discussion. This little douchebag. This is what you look like, though. Never mind music. Never mind you, video maker. Shut your fucking mouth and get in line.